Hi, Attorney Steve Vondran. We're back. We're doing this video as a basic overview of the types of questions you might expect if you're going to run through, let's say, a property management audit in the state of California. So, people will ask me, what types of questions might I get? What types of things can I prepare for? So, basically when you're running a property management audit, let's say, you're going to get a certain amount of questions. Let's go through some of those. And this is just going to be off the top of my head, having had experience in these types of audits. Some of the questions you're going to get is, one, they're going to start off looking at your basic business organization. How are you set up? Are you a corporation? Some people mistakenly have an LLC, and it's not an LLC is not a recognized entity in California real estate, so that's not going to work for you. So sometimes we have to counsel our clients to look into getting a corporation and then filling out the 201 form and submitting that, the corporate change, corporate licensing application actually. So what type of company do you have? Are you active? Are you on the, if I looked you up on the Secretary of State website, is it going to say active? Is it going to say suspended? What's it going to say? You might get some questions as far as who are the owners, who's running the company here. You might get some questions on DBAs. Do you have any fictitious business names that your company's using? One of the important things to realize is if you're using a fictitious business name, you need to make sure the Bureau of Real Estate has that name in its database. And you do that by filling out the RE 204 form. And that is your corporate change application, submitting your DBAs after you've recorded those with your county recorder's office, okay? So you might get questions about your DBAs. You might get questions about branch offices. Do you have branch offices? Do you have any other offices where licensed activity is being performed? And so you need to be prepared to address that. Again, branch offices, if you have them, if you're using them, you need to inform the Bureau of Real Estate and get that updated on their website. Other questions, you may get questions about, you're going to get questions about your trust account. How are you maintaining trust accounting records? Do you have separate beneficiary records in regards to a separate record for each of your clients? Do you maintain a general account ledger for all your trust funds that are coming in and out? Do you reconcile? Do you maintain monthly reconciliation records? A lot of brokers miss out on this point that there actually is this accounting function that you need to follow, those kinds of things. They'll look at employees. Do you have any employees, agents? What are people doing? As far as agents, do you have their license certificates? Do you have those on file with your office? Are all your agents licensed? Do you have any agents that are engaged in activities when their license has expired? And a good tip for brokers is to make sure that you have some sort of tracking mechanism in your calendar so you know when various licenses are going to expire with your different agents. So have a way to flag that so that you make sure you're not engaged in unlicensed activities. There'll be questions usually about the broker and what does the broker know? Is there policies and procedures in place? What types of activities is the broker doing to make sure that they are overseeing license activity? That's another very important issue. The rent-a-broker, we've done videos on what happens when you're a rent-a-broker, and those can run into some big problems in California and lead to license discipline. So you'll get some questions about the policies and procedures of the company. In regard to property management, you might have questions as to how many properties you manage, what types of properties you manage, how much money you're bringing in and out each month. You may get some questions as far as whether or not you're paying mortgage payments and tax payments for particular owners. So you're going to need to be able to explain that if you're doing that. Your property management agreements, do you have a property management agreement that fully explains everything that you're doing with each of your clients? It's another potential topic. Affiliated maintenance companies, do you have any affiliated companies where you're making money and not disclosing that to your owners? You need to make sure that your owners are on board with who's doing what, and any affiliated entities that you may have. Also, markups. If there's any markups, the owner needs to be aware of those markups, and usually that's done through your contracts explaining what your markups will be. Do your funds balance? Do your trust accounts balance? Are you commingling funds? Does the broker have his or her own properties that they're managing? Are those kept in separate accounts, the same accounts? Are you taking your property management commissions out? Are you taking them out within the 25 days so that as to avoid commingling? Do you have balances above $200 in your accounts, which could lead to commingling charges? Websites, are you using your business license number on your websites and your advertisement materials? A DRE auditor may want to look at your business cards and make sure that you're not using any unlicensed DBAs. Another big issue. Your advertising materials, are you using unlicensed DBAs? Those kinds of questions. You will also get questions about, as I mentioned, other owners in the business, your property management agreements. What else? Am I missing anything here? Missing any other big ones? Those are the ones off the top of my head. So, I mean, we could probably go on here all day, but those are a lot of the main questions, just to look at your accounting, your business structure, who's doing what, your contracts. Do you have an independent contractor agreement with all your agents? Closely spelling things out. Am I missing?
License on the website.
We talked about the license on the website. We have a good student here. Frontline Lisi's in the back taking notes here. That's her hand. It's a great hand. So I always said, give me a hand. And finally she did. So anyway, yeah, those are some of the main questions that you're going to get. There are others.
Talk about business cards?
Yes, we talked about business cards. You could tell she went to ASU. I think that's shining through. So, but anyway, so those are some of the main questions. We'll let you get running, but if you have questions, if you're engaged, need to do a property management audits, broker self-audits, transaction response letters, desist and refrain letters, advance fee agreements, real estate arbitration litigation, you name it. If it's real estate, Attorney Steve does it. Give us a call. Look us up on the web at brokercounsel.com. That's brokercounsel.com. We have a lot of information there and different services that we provide. So we've helped a lot of property management and real estate brokers in California. Attorney Steve Honor, and you need some help, give us a call. We look forward to working with you. Hope this has been helpful. Thanks.